Good evening, everybody. Sorry for the lateness. I had a little bit of challenge with my computer today. This time it was not internet, it was computer. Shegun Fatumo is the first one here. Adebayo, Mashu, Obiojimadu, Tokumbo Talks, Kike Moronkeji, Natalia Valentinovna, Charles Ushe, Noah, Adeleke, Nkiru is here, Ladovish, Kike, Toyin, Adetoro, Flair, Noella, Funmi Adewusi, Olayemi Success is here. Olukayode is here, Maria is here, Makajiola arrived, Lorraine Adamolekun is here, James Ayodele is here, Sufficient, Omar, Bobo. Well, let's go and share if you don't mind, please. If you don't mind, let's go share this link. Justin from Berlin is here. Let's go share this link, please. Ryan Gordon, good evening. Samuel Shika, that's Okeke, India, Anointed Queen. Wow, Opia, Anointed Queen. That is interesting. What a wonderful name. Rachel Onanga, Mashu, Handsome David, Alice, Ludovic, Okwayemi, Praise Matthews, Ewa. Well, I'm sure you people have shared the link already. And I'm going to just continue talking to you. I'm going to continue talking to you tonight about what I started in the morning. I'm sorry that in the morning I couldn't finish it up as well as I would have liked to, but thank God we cover a lot of ground in the morning. So now we can continue. We can continue to talk about, paying yourself, building your future, and investment. And so just to remind you on the way of remembrance, by the way, you notice that I'm outside today because it's so hot. I don't know where you are and how the weather is where you are, but it's so hot in our place here that aircon will not do a good job. It's just going to get you sick. So even though we have mosquitoes in this place, can't believe we have mosquitoes in Ukraine. But anyway, we have what was the weather like today? What was the temperature? Let me see. I think the temperature should be far over 30. I'm sure maybe 35 degrees centigrade or something like that. So I'm sure the temperature is quite high. So it's so hot. So that's why I decided to use my compound as my studio today. And I don't think it's a bad. I don't think it's a bad choice. I don't think it's a bad choice. So we see some green in my background, and that's the good thing about summer, about hot weather. So anyway, talking about hot weather, Africa. I'm getting ready. I think this summer is getting me ready for Africa, so that when I move to Africa, I've adjusted a little bit. It's because I'm moving back to Africa for sure. Someone said there is no audio. I can't believe that there is no audio. If there had been no audio, someone would have spoken. I think maybe it's just your computer that is not having audio. I'm sure you should have audio. I think you should have audio. If you don't have audio, then that's very bad. Because people, if you don't have audio, somebody would have complained. Yeah, Adedamola is saying there is audio. Yeah, so Yeah, I think audio might be the problem with audio might be with that particular person because we have audio here. Anyway, yeah, the bottom line is that I'm getting ready for Africa. And if you want to come and join me in Africa, you want to join my team, and you want to go to Africa as well, you need to go to my blog. My blog is www.sundayadelajablog, sundayadelajablog.com. And in that blog, you'll be able to see a program called Nigeria Transformation. I'm sorry, now that's another challenge here. It's like it's hot on the one hand, but on the other hand, if you, like I'm wearing, a short sleeve here and short knicker, and now I'm getting cold. I'm sneezing already. Wow, can't believe it. Oh, I might need to go back inside. I might need to go back inside. I don't know. Because it's getting cold again back. Wow. That is cold here. If you expose yourself to the cold, that is Russia for you. In Africa, when it's hot, it's hot. You don't get sneezing when some cold get into you. But sitting outside here, I got some, because of the contrast. I was inside where it was hot, then I came outside. I'm sweating, and then it's getting cold already, and I had to, the sneezing. That explains the sneezing and all that. So anyway, thank God, I'm going to be outside today, I think, by the grace of God. So the bottom line is that we are back to continue our class. I was talking about Africa. If you want to go back with me to Africa, you are highly welcomed. I'm happy for you, and I'll be happy to have you. So go register, please, on sundayadelajablog.com. You will see Nigerian Transformation there. And besides that, by the way, we just uploaded the messages from, I think, if you are there, Joshua, will you put the link? Will you put the link for Nigerians or Africans who are talking about the megabyte? That the megabyte is expensive. So we got podcasts for you on my blog. So all these messages that I've been teaching over the past few months, they are now in postcards. They are now in podcast or something you call it, podcast on my blog. So you can get them in audio. That's basically what it means. You just go and get the audio part of it, the audio whatever, transcript of it. So people were asking for transcript. We didn't have written transcript, but we have audio now. So you could go to the blog and see the audio version. Yeah, the audio version of what we are teaching. So that would be less expensive for you to download, and you can also carry it along with you everywhere. And some of you also will not be able to carry the video along with you, but you'll be able to do that with the audio. So that's an announcement for people who want to go to Africa. You can go to the blog and get that for yourself. And then if you want the audio and the video of this broadcast, all of them are recorded on my blog as well. So you go to the blog, you see that as well. So, and then, of course, we have the book on Nigeria. If you don't have your copy, you could get it on Amazon. Then we have the book on Money Won't Make You Rich, on money, on finances that we'll be talking about. Like I said, this is going to be my last week of talking on this topic. By Monday, I'm going to be talking about, I think, families or so. Going to be talking about, I think I'll probably be talking about men. Then from men, I will go to families, I think. Maybe from men, I will go to women, then we'll go to families and all that. So anyway, the topic of today, like you've heard, is pay yourself, build and invest in your future. Pay yourself, build and invest in your future. Pay yourself, What we do and what we have been taught to do, unfortunately, most of our lives, is to make money and spend it. And if you have that kind of mentality to make money and spend it, what you are actually doing is that you are paying someone else. You are buying, you are working, giving your life, giving your energy, giving your time, giving everything that your resources out to work. But when you are working, you are actually working for other men. You are working for other people. You are working to make other people rich. You are working to pay other people. So at the end of the day, what happens is that you are actually paying other people. You are paying other people with your work. Because when you get your salary, you remember what you do. The first thing you do without following the laws of money, and the first law of money is that money should not be spent, and that you have to retain money. But if you are the type that doesn't know that law, you probably go and be spending money. And if you spend money, then you are actually paying other people. You are paying other people. You are not paying yourself. No, normal. No, para give me this. Isso é para estar hoje. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. Somebody decided to take care of me a little bit here. They are afraid I might get cold, you see. They're afraid I will catch some cold while I'm trying to minister to you guys. I think the people in Ukraine still need me a little bit. So they decided to take care of their pastor. I didn't know they were seeing what was happening to me here. I thought I was here all by myself. It's not quite so. People see you when you don't know that people are watching you. Wow, is that Bode's picture that I saw? Bode, you have to write your telephone number somewhere here, and tell them for you to get Pastor Sunday's books in Nigeria, and put your telephone, because I'm seeing you for the first time, and people normally ask for how they could get my books in Nigeria. So please, Bode, write some comments, write your name, and tell them to get in touch with you if they need my materials, my messages, and my books. Okay, so that because I don't carry your number in my head, so you need to write your number by yourself. Anyway, yeah, the topic of today is pay yourself, build and invest in your future. So if you are the type that just live like the regular people live, 90, maybe 97, 98% of people in the world, they live the regular life. And the regular life is, get your salary and then go and spend it. Go and spend it. I'm going to plateau data I'm doing with. Get your salary and then go and spend it. But you don't do that when you want to pay yourself. When you have that kind of mentality, you get your salary and go and spend it. You know what you have just done? You are gotten that salary that you worked hard for, and you are taking it right away to go and pay somebody else. You are paying your barber, you are paying your tailor, you are paying your supermarket, you are paying your car, your car owners, you are paying your fuel station or railway, or what do I call it? Fuel station they call it here. But petrol station, you're paying your petrol station owners, you are paying your supermarket owner, you are paying every other person, but you are not paying yourself. And that is not the way to go. You need to pay yourself. And the way to pay yourself first is to put some money, as of course, apart from God, you have to start with God. You have to put, some money away to pay God first. So that's your tithe and maybe your offering. You put that one aside. Then you put aside some money. When you put aside some money for your investment plan. So your investment target should be from 30%, at least 30% of your money should be put aside for investment. So when you are putting away some money for your investment, that means you are paying yourself. Or when you are putting away some money for your children, that means you are paying yourself. When you are putting away some money for your future plans, for your calling, that means you are paying yourself. So the bottom line is that you pay yourself. Don't just pay all other people, but pay yourself. How do you go about that? Okay. How do you go about that? The way to go about that is to have a policy. And there's something they call financial policy. Somebody was asking me, how do you do that with your wife or your family? You have to sit down with your wife and at least with your spouse, with your wife, and say, okay, this is how much we have coming into this family. Maybe you are making 1,000, I'm making 1,000, and okay, we know how much is going to the Lord, to the church, or for tithe and offering, and then let's put some amount of money, maybe 1% or 2% for our families. So maybe a certain amount of money goes to her side of the family, another amount of family goes to his side of the family. It's always, I am a strong advocate of paying or taking care of your dependents, of taking care of your elderly or your siblings. So you have to budget that. You don't just wait till they are asking you for some money. But even if they are not asking you for money, even if you are not paying them, you can be putting it aside for them, and then even multiplying it. Sometimes you might want to multiply the money for them in the real sense, so that, because one day they will come and ask you for money. I bet you, especially if you are from Africa. So one day somebody will come running. Something is going to go wrong, and so for you not to be looking for money that you didn't save, and money that you did not think about, for you not to go into debt trying to help your family or relatives, you need to put that in your budget quite early. You need to put that in your budget earlier on. Put it as, like, for example, one thing you could do is that you could have 10%. So let's say 10% is, that's your tithe, it goes to the Lord. Then you could have another 10%. So from that other second 10%, you are taking care of all the things you are going to do concerning giving to other people, because that is also giving. When it says tithe and offering could come in terms of giving to other people. So part of the offering could be for for people who are in need around you. Part of the offering could go for your church also, but part of the offering could also go to people who are in need. Unfortunately, what we are now witnessing these days is that most Christians, they only give to their churches. When we talk about offering, tithe and offering, we are only giving everything. Even all kind of giving that we are doing is normally about our churches and but that is wrong. When you read about giving in the Bible, giving is normally talking about giving to the poor. Giving is always talking about giving to the orphans, giving to the widows, giving to the less privileged people, to the foreigners, to the oppressed, to the slaves, to the servants. So those are the kind of giving that Bible emphasizes. But the kind of giving that we are emphasizing these days is always, church related. And the problem with that is that you don't always see all these churches doing all that. It's a good thing if you have a church that is taking care of the widows, and you are having a church that's taking care of the orphans, and doing a lot of job transforming the society, and enriching and changing the lives of people. Yeah, that kind of church you might want to give, because you are seeing what they are doing with the money. You see that they are working with the money, and the money is actually changing people's lives. Maybe you don't have the time, or you don't have the time to go and be visiting the poor, or to go and be helping people in prison and all that. But your church is doing it. If your church is doing it and you believe in them, you know that they have financial accountability, and they are responsible financially, then you might want to do that. You might want to give more offering to them, or you might want to direct your projects through them to minister to those people. But even though I'm a pastor, but I've seen too much. I've just seen too much, and because of all what I know, maybe 1% of churches are actually responsible with finances, and responsible enough to be able to take care of everything, that all the kind of people that the Bible says we should take care of. Maybe 1%. I don't know more than 1% of churches that will really do this as an obligation, as their real Christian obligation, that they are taking care of the poor, the widows, the orphanage, not just the members of the church. I mean, doing it on a large scale, doing it on the level of the society, the country, using the money and the offering from the church to go and to go and transform the society. And not too many churches are doing that. So what I would like to do, what I would like to champion really in the society, like when I go to Nigeria, I would like to preach this, that people should stop giving to the churches. Apart from tithe and offering, people should stop. I'm sure that it's going to land me in a lot of trouble, but I want to encourage believers to, instead of giving to the churches, that they should go and do their charity themselves. They should go and do their charity by themselves. And I'm sure each one of us, each one of us believers, we know many people who are in need. We know many needy people around us. Many of us, and that's the problem. Many of these Christians will pass by needy people, will pass by poor people, will pass by wretched people. Actually, will pass them by and will not give them anything, but we will be taking the money to the church. I mean, it's not the church that is in need. Actually, most of those churches actually have more than they need. Most of these churches that we are taking the money to, they have a lot of money. They have a lot of resources. But we are giving the money to them. Why should you be giving to people who already have too much? And you can't see what they are doing to the poor. You can't see what they are doing to all these poor people. So what I'm going to champion, one of the things I'm going to champion when I go to Nigeria, I'm going to start a crusade that is going to encourage Christians to stop giving to churches extra money. Maybe maximum give to the church, your tithe and offering, and maybe whatever God speaks to you specifically. If God really comes to talk to you specifically about something, then you can do that. Otherwise, don't give anything to churches. Go look for poor people. Can you imagine if every middle class Christian in Nigeria will adopt another poor family, or will adopt just a household? If every Christian will adopt just one family, just one other family, or just one other poor person in Nigeria, we will not be one of the poorest countries in the world. I mean, and all these things we are giving to the churches for prophet offering and whatever offering again, faith offering or pastor's offering or project offering, all these projects, I think we should just encourage people to go and use them to reach out to the poor families. So that is what the heart of the Lord is about. God's heart is always about the poor. I mean, read the Psalms, read Proverbs, read even the New Testament. True religion is always about taking care of the poor, the orphans, and the widows and things like that, and people like that. And that's what Bible says talk us true religion. It didn't say take all your money and take to the church. No. And some of us will even go and be giving to the church at the expense of our own families and of our own relatives. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but I wanted to talk about investment and saving, but this is just, I think God is just making me to talk about this. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, we are not taking care of our future. Instead of taking care of our future, we are taking care of the pastor's future. We are taking care of the, everybody's future. The gasoline owner's future. We are taking care of the supermarket's owner's future. We are taking care of the school owner's future, but we are not taking care of our own future. And the idea is, it's no problem to give to the churches, and it's no problem to give to, to spend money. But first of all, make sure that you are giving, you are multiplying your money first. The only money you have the right to spend is the money you have already multiplied. If you have not multiplied your money, then you are just working for Uncle Sam. You are just a slave of the system. First of all, whatever money comes to your hand, your first priority should be to multiply that money. Until you multiply the money, you shouldn't spend it. But of course, you still have to spend. Let's say you make $1,000, and your utilities and other things, expenses, mortgage, or that you need to spend, let's say, 50% to pay your bills and eat at the end of the day. But then the 30% you save, you put it to do business or to do trade and buying and selling, or to put in investment. When that one multiplies, to the $300, let's say you put it in for a month, for a year, and it multiplies itself, and it comes back. 2, 3, 4, 5 times, then you get back the 1,000 originally you made. So that's what I mean, that you don't, you have to cause the money to, you don't spend it, you cause it to return. You return the original 1,000, and then you keep on multiplying it. That's the essence of investment. So once you keep on multiplying it, that 1,000 will become 2,000, 3,000. It is now the extra 2,000 or 1,000 you have made over the original 1,000 from which you had spent 70%. It is that money, the other extra 1,000 or 2,000, that now you can spend. So the only money you can spend is the money that has been multiplied. So what I'm saying is that the rich people that we are trying to copy, they have their real investment, their real capital. Their real capital is never being spent. They put it in investment that is giving them money. So when they have the overflow from the real original investment, that is when they are spending it. We see them buying the Mercedes Benz, we see them buying the Rolls Royce, we see them buy the big houses, we see them buy the wristwatch and live big. And the reason why they are living big is because they are not touching their original investment. They are not touching their original money. The original money is there, and they are just using the overflow of the original. No way. I should take a tell.
Thank you, please.
Should we not? Take a start on it. The way actually right there. Yeah. What back? Okay. Let's see. Yeah, just giving me to cover my leg because I'm actually wearing a short here. So, because we have mosquitoes here in this house, can't believe it. Mosquitoes in Russia, that's unbelievable. But because I'm living like in a place where we have trees, and I think maybe we have some ocean somewhere here. So I guess maybe that's where the thing is coming. The mosquitoes are coming from. So anyway. But I think when we encourage Christians to show your Christianity, show your piousness, show your piousness and your devotion to God by going to take care of the needy. That's what the Bible says we should do. The Bible didn't say take all the money to the church and let the church take care of them. The Bible says, I was naked and you did not clothe me. I was in prison and you did not visit me. I was hungry and you did not feed me. So that idea of getting the church to do all that instead of us doing it, I think is wrong. I think it's not very scriptural. I think God's expectation is that we would do it, that we would take care of those needy people. And our money that we're using and, spreading everywhere and, just giving to the churches, and for them, we are giving, by putting all this money in churches, we are actually, we're actually putting temptations before all these pastors. We are tempting them. Because if I have all the money, I have to do something with it. Maybe that's why they have to, use the money sometimes, to buy all those things that we are criticizing them for. So, and we are the one that will criticize them at the end of the day. And we are the ones that are giving them the temptation in the first place. We pastors we are only human beings as well. We could be tempted. And it's normal to be tempted. Everybody is tempted. And if you put too much money before me, I will be tempted too. But, so you don't want your pastors to be tempted. I think maybe we don't need the light. I think we don't need the light. Do we need the light? Is it too dark already? I think we don't need the light right now. If you will need the light, let me know. If you think we will need the light, let me know. But right now, I think we are doing good. So, pay yourself. That's the point I'm trying to make. Pay yourself, pay your family, pay your future. Take some money, just like you are giving to the church and to God, 10% every time. Just be so religious and be so serious about paying yourself as well. Just like you do that tithe thing religiously, that's how you should also do when it comes to your family. But the money you put aside for your family shouldn't just be put aside for putting aside sake. The money you put aside for your family should be put aside for investment. The whole purpose of saving is for investment. So you think about investing the money, or maybe investing also could be business. The most reliable person in your life is you yourself. So instead of giving the money to somebody to invest for you or to run the business for you, why don't you run the business yourself? Think about what you could do with money. Think about what you could buy, well, and resell, or I don't know, maybe what you could build, but if not, like I said in the morning, there are so many people all over the world that have ideas, they have products that they want to do. This is just the way the world works. A lot of people have ideas, they have projects, they have things that they want to do, but they don't have the starting capital, or they don't have the money to sustain it, or they have already something going on. They already have something going on for them, but they are having it in a small scale. They don't have money to expand their business. So those are the kind of people. When you are talking about small money in the beginning, if you don't have access to the millionaires and the multi-millionaires that will take 100 million from you, 100,000 from you, or 50,000 from you, or $1 million and multiply it for you, those ones are finding it easier. But when you are just starting, go and find people who are resourceful, who are enterprising, and who are already experiencing some success in one way or the other, in whatever they are doing. So go and find them and, partner with them. So put the money in their business. And of course, you have to secure your wealth. You have to secure your money. And the way to secure it is by making sure you have a very reliable contract signed. Or maybe you ask for collateral. You let them put something down, or so don't risk too much, don't risk your money. But the idea is that people are saying, who do we invest in? How do I find? It's not easy to find people who are rich to invest in. It's not easy to find the millionaires are hiding. They don't want, they're just in their own circles. Millionaires are, they say money likes silence. So millionaires, they don't like to hang around people who are nothing. They just want to be around their own people. But you have to climb the ladder, and you cannot blame them. You don't want to come down to meet you on your own level. Only very few millionaires will come down to the level of poor people. They are only relating with their the birds of the same flock together. What they say, birds of the same feather flock together. Yeah, I think so. So they would not come and be flocking with you. So they will be among their own people. So you need to climb up there. But while you are on the level you are in right now, on the level of $10,000 or $1,000 or $2,000 or $200, you need to find small scale businesses that you could partner with, and that will give you. And the small scale businesses will give you better returns. They will give you better returns because they need money desperately. They are more desperate, and then they will they will be able to help you out. Okay, let me see what you are writing, by the way. Let me see what people are writing here. So that it's not just one-sided information I'm giving you. Let me see how you are responding to what you are hearing, by the way. It's needful. I might need to comment some of them. So what are you saying? Charles Smith says, Pastor Sunday, you are opening my eyes. Oh, I think that's what this is supposed to be about. We are supposed to open your eyes for real. We want to open people's eyes. Yes. Thank you. I will apply this truth certainly. Okay. You are very correct, sir. Esther Bobga says, Kike Moronkeji said, once saw a well-known and well-respected minister ask for his congregation to contribute offering for the maintenance, what? Of his private jet? Maintenance? That is an example of abuse right there. That's an example of, mismanagement of money and of God's resources right there. And those congregations would not even think that means that person is abusing them and is abusing their generosity. And to be for the church to be contributing money for the maintenance of the private jet of the pastor. If he wants private jet, let him do business. If he wants private jet, let him save. If he wants private jet, let him do investment. And let him use his money to buy his private jet, not money of the congregation. I think when I go to Nigeria, maybe I will need to buy a private jet. But to God, I tell you right now, if I will ever need to do that, I would do it with my own money. I would do it with my own money. But to be getting the money from the congregation to buy private jet, that might not be the best thing to do. That might not be the best thing to do. Because some of those congregations are poor. Some of them are giving their last dollar, their last money. So, I think pastors should learn to multiply what they have, to use the same principle that they are telling people to use. You are telling people to go and work. Go work too. You're telling people to go invest. Go invest also. You are telling people to believe God. You believe God too. Why should Why should ordinary people be believing God and you are believing people and you are riding on people? You don't need to believe God. You don't need to invest. You don't need to produce goods and services. You do something too. Of course, the Bible says that the people who are ministering to us, the pastors, should be taken care of. I have a whole book on that, called You and Your Pastor, but not to the stage of abuse. You remember what Paul said? Paul said he was working with his hands. He was actually doing tents. He was actually making tents so that nobody will accuse him that he's riding on other people's money or on other believers' money. So he was making tents to provide for himself. And just so that he will not take advantage of people. And we should be like that. We should be like that. Anyway, Ola says, Pastor, be prepared for trouble. Yeah. Now you know why Pastor Sunday needs your prayers. I'm used to trouble. I'm always having trouble. All the time. I'm a troublemaker. But, for the truth. But for the truth. He said, be prepared for trouble. A lot of the pastors there, they are cowboys living on members' money. Yeah, but we have to change that. Someone has to confront these things. If you don't confront it will never change. If everybody will just keep on keeping quiet, nothing will change. We will not like it. We'll just be talking in your kitchen. You just be talking in your kitchen and saying things are bad, but who will change it? I think, and it's not the atheists that are going to change it, and it's not the unbelievers that will change it. I think it has to be we pastors that have to confront it. Слишком много, да, посмотри. Назад, или сверху, давай. Или да, вниз. Вниз. Okay, I think it's better that way. Yeah. So who is there again? Ibrahim Babajide Bello is saying, championing not giving all offering to the church in Nigeria would definitely land you in trouble. Okay, Nkiru is here. Nkiru Ajimadu is, he was my best lady, and she's known me all these years. And Obi also, Ajimadu, is here, and they are pastors from our church in Ukraine here. And so they are Nigerians, they understand English, and they are here. So they will tell you that Pastor Sunday is used to trouble. I'm running into trouble all the time. But you shouldn't be afraid of that. One person on the side of God is a majority. So it doesn't matter who is against you. If God is on your side, you are in the majority, no matter what. And if you are on the side of truth, you are a majority too. One person on the side of truth is in the majority. So, I know. In fact, I already know people not now though, during the time of, what was his name? Former President Jonathan. Last year I came out from my shell last year and writing articles on why we should not let Jonathan stay, and was campaigning for change and for Buhari. So many people didn't like that, and for some reasons, many pastors were actually campaigning for Buhari. No, not for Buhari, against Buhari. Many pastors were campaigning for Jonathan, and they wanted, they were talking all kind of manipulative stuff like, saying, Buhari was going to do what? Islamize Nigeria. Some of them are still saying the same thing. They're just singing the same song. It's very, very sad that people could be using lies in the name of God to just win an argument. Anyway, so I came out and I was making my points, and with all the arguments I know, you know what happened? This, maybe I shouldn't be talking this publicly, but I think some people know. Some people know about it. So, the pastors will sometimes have meetings in the Aso Rock. Aso Rock is the Nigerian seat of government where the president lives. And so the president will invite all these bishops and the big men of God, they call them big men of God, and, to strategize what stories to sell to Christians, and so that they will believe and they will be scared of voting for Buhari and, vote for for that former government. And so one day, they raised the topic of Pastor Sunday, that Pastor Sunday is polluting the heart of, through his internet posts and articles. Sunday Adelaja is polluting the heart of, the hearts of youth, Nigerian youth that are reading his articles, that because of him, some people would not vote for the former president. So one of the bishops there stood up, raised his voice and said, "Who is he? Who is he? Who is this man? We are going to finish him right now. We are going to, we are going to solve the problem right now. So let's raise up a prayer altar." So they started praying, but God will silence me, that I will not. Well, if you are talking about, maybe God is not, for some reasons, God is not doing that job yet for them. God is not answering that prayer yet. Maybe he's going to do it, but he has not done it yet. Why he has not silenced me? I'm going to keep on talking. I'm going to keep on talking. So I know that is little thing compared to when I get to Nigeria. The real prayer altar will be raised when I get there, because a lot of things are going to be said that people will not like. So you are right. Who is this? Abin Bola, Ibrahim, what? No? What was his name? Babajide Bello. Ibrahim Babajide Bello is saying, if you are going to tell people not to be paying, not to be giving all the offering to the church, you are going to land yourself in trouble, okay? But that is what leadership is about. Now you are talking. Now you are talking. That is exactly what leadership is about. Emphasizing the right cause we believe in. That is so true. That is so true. Well, I'm not attacking any particular person or church or religion. I'm just, trying to open people's eyes. That's just what I'm about. John Ma says, Pastor Sunday Adelaja, you have totally gone off your intended topic. This is too distracting, sir. Yeah, I think so too. I mentioned that myself, that it is distracting, but I feel that distraction is coming from the Holy Ghost. I think that distraction about people paying themselves and not paying the pastors and churches extra money other than tithe and offering, I think God is behind it. So this kind of distraction is the kind of distraction that I will be willing to engage in. I think that distraction will help a lot of people to get back to their senses, really, and not to be deceived, to get out of deception. I think it's a good distraction. And if you want to hear this part of this message, this particular one about saving, paying yourself, building your future, and investment, you can listen to the first part of it. I spoke more about that in the morning. So if you don't want to listen to the second part that is saying don't waste your money on other things, listen to the first part. That will help you. And I've been talking about this for a week. Those other ones could help you too. Tiger the Emperor says, that's why most ministers in Nigeria are not in touch with reality. They keep collecting from the desperate poor masses to build empires for themselves. Yeah, I think even though people should give, but you should teach them also to build their lives. Teach them too to build their future. Teach them also to build their destinies. Teach them to also build, their tomorrow, to build the destiny of their children and of their posterity. Don't just teach them to build the building of the church. What is building? We are all going to leave all these buildings here. We have church building too, but we are going to leave. That is good to do, but we are going to leave them behind. Let's build the kingdom of God, and let's build people. So Olukayode Kundayo says, most churches in Nigeria are building temples instead of building people. Yeah, and we should concentrate more on building people instead of building buildings. We have the needy around us that we only remember on Christmas and Easter season. And that is what the church does. The church remembers the needy during Christmas and Easter. But we, individual Christians, should remember them every day. And that is why some of your money that you are putting aside should be to invest, to invest in the needy. And that's why I say you might have the second 10% or maybe half of 10%, 5%, just to be giving, to be doing charity. You give 10% to the church, that's your tithe, but some percentage you put aside for charity. You are loaning to God when you do that, and God will fight for you, he will be on your side. Sandra says, Catholic Church here in Germany has a body that takes care of the poor and needy. Caritas is called. God bless you, sir, for this great teaching. I'm really learning a lot. Oh, thank God. For you, it's not a distraction, huh? So that's a good one. Thank God. I'm getting some support from Germany right there. Stephanie Oyinye says, this is so true. This is the Christianity I really want to live, you see. I'm sure downloading all the messages to carry it everywhere I go to until these words become life in me. Yeah, and that is also another form of Christianity that we need to do. I mean, give the messages for free. And I want to encourage you all to give these messages out to people for free. Get the video messages. You can download all the video on my blog, and you can download all the audio variation of these as well on my blog for free. Take them for free, send them to people, and let people's lives change. Let people's life be changed. Let people experience transformation. Okay, Stephanie says, always refreshing listening to you, Pastor. So selfless and real. Well, just being Christian. All of us should be like that. All of us should be like that. Shegun Lawal said, that is part of what used to be my concern, sir, that the pastor is using jet and the church members cannot even pay their rent and feed well and nobody cares. Yeah, I don't know if you people are thinking this is distraction, but I think something needs to be done about that. And I think some pastors will be listening to me now who will change the attitude. I think the pastors only do what they have been taught, and they only do what they have learned or what they are seeing other people do. I think if we, like someone like me, if I begin to pioneer a new, chart a new course and give a new example, and talk differently, and challenge people to change, I think there will be some pastors there that might want to listen. I think there will be some pastors there that might want to put the well-being and welfare of their members above just the largesse of their own lifestyle. So like what this man is saying here right now, that there are some members of the church that will not even have the resources to even pay their rent or even, be able to eat. And, the church might not even know about this. And in that kind of case, the church is gathering offering for plane and for jets. That might not look too balanced. If you do that in Europe, people are going to go after you big time. And but in Nigeria, we need to change that. We need to change that. Somebody needs to begin. Someone needs to begin to talk about it. The church members contributed tithes and offering, which was used to create a school or to build a school that their children cannot even attend because of higher rate of school fees. Wow. Yeah. Somebody needs to begin to talk about these things. I think there must be a program of scholarship for the poor in that case. If you build a school and it's very expensive, maybe because they need to take care of the school, they need to maintain it or a high standard, then I think things like scholarship should be offered to promising children of that school, of that members of the church or something like that. So we need to begin to discuss these things. Okay, Shegun Lawal says there is one pastor that have one jet and told the congregation to contribute money to buy another one, and some church members said no way. Kunle Olutimeyin says, from what I have seen around, finding the right investment is complicated. People invest and lose money all the time. That's so true. And finally settle to keep the cash in a fixed deposit account that generates between 4 to 8% per annum. Yeah, that's why you must be asking for collateral for your investment, or ask for something, maybe a part of the business, to ownership of the business, maybe so, or be a partner in the business, or you need to find a way to secure your money, or to find the right person you are working with. Yeah, I think that there is always a way around that. Bobo says, Pastor, you are so frank for this generation of pastors. I wish I was a fly on the wall to see pastors' faces when you say these things. They are so empowering as we grow. These things are so empowering as we grow up spiritually. Yeah, I hope it will set some people free, really. We need to set the body of Christ free. Ojimadu said, God bless you, sir. God is with you and God is in you. That is so true. That is so true. And that's why I'm so comfortable talking about these things. No fear. Ola said, God bless you, sir. Let's take it to Nigeria. This message is great. Okay. Kike Moronkeji said, I love that. One person on the side of truth is in the majority. Yes. Nkiru Ojimadu. Oh! Nkiru is reminding me that I wrote a book that is called I'm Looking for Troubles. Or I'm Looking for Problems. Yes, I have a book like that in Russian language. I think we've got to get it to English. And the title of the book is I'm Looking for Troubles. I'm Looking for Problems. So I'm used to problems, really. Shegun Lawal say, running into trouble because of truth is a good thing. God is your strength. Thank you. Patrick Okode said, you need security personnel. Don't take chances, please, Pastor. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that by the grace of God. I have enough troubles here in Ukraine. I need to finish my fight here first before I go to Nigeria to begin another war there. Olukayode Yakudaya said, truth will always stir up trouble with those who prefer to continue to oppress people. Nkem said, God is a God of justice, always right, so we defend his own. Olamide said, Daddy, may God bless you, okay, for opening our eyes. Okay. Ibrahim Babajide said, I like this kind of distraction. What an eye-opener. Truth that sets free. Right on, sir, as the Spirit leads. Adedamola said, I just wonder if the millions of Christians in Nigeria know the truth you are teaching us now. Nigeria would have become a super great nation, but pastors are enslaving people instead. Olabisi says, Pastor, we need to start prayer for you right now. You are touching, she says. Nkiru says, I teach people to look around when they go to church. For those that have torn shoes and torn clothes, talk to them after church and find ways to help them. That is good. That's very practical. Ernest Ebong says, something needs to be done about the welfare of church members in Nigeria. I believe some pastors will be positively affected by this message, so they'll begin to do good things for their members. This has been my prayer for years now, that God will raise someone who will do what? Who will start a new cause? Who will start a new cause in Nigerian Christianity? Yeah, well, it's like God has answered that prayer. I never planned to go to Nigeria. I never planned to go to Nigeria. I mean, I have churches in 50 countries. I could have gone to any country in the world. When I was in Australia, people in Australia were begging me to take off their passports. I will not take up my passport. I will not take up their passport. I would not change my Nigerian green passport. When I was in England, I was in America. I even have one of my children that has American passport, but I'm not going to change my passport. I've been living in Europe now, but I'm not going to change my passport. I'm not going to drop that passport. I might have second passport or something, but I'm not going to drop the green passport because that's where I'm going back to by the grace of God. But I didn't plan to do that. I just thought I would be going there to just visit. But God changed the whole thing and He wants me to go back. Maybe I'm needed there. Maybe I'm needed there at the end of the day. I might. Maybe if these messages will get some resonance and some response from Nigeria, who knows? Maybe I might be needed there. Maybe I might be needed there. So I advise everyone on this platform to support Pastor Sunday to bring this vision to fruition. Oh yeah, by the grace of God. Patrick Ojima said, Pastor, I want to visit your church. How do I do that? Very easy. Write to me to pastor@godembassy.org. Pastor@godembassy.org. Or you might want to write to our department that deals with that. Is guest, Guest, guest@godembassy.org. Just tell us when you are coming. That's it. Emmanuel Oguniyi said, Pastor, I agree with you, but a lot of these churches do charity works without letting anyone know. Yeah, it's good that the churches are doing charity work, but I want believers to be responsible for the charity work as well. It's good for believers that believers should be Christians. The Bible says, I was sick, you didn't visit me. The Christian, not the church, should be doing charity work alone. But the church should be doing charity work, but every believer should also be doing their own charity work. So a believer should have his budget that is using to take care of the needy around him. The Bible says, I was naked, you didn't clothe me. It didn't say the church didn't clothe me. It said you. When he said I was hungry, it didn't say the church didn't feed me. It said you didn't feed me. He said I was in prison, you didn't visit me. He didn't say the church didn't visit me. He said you didn't visit me. So it's one thing for church to be doing charity work. It's another thing for Christians to be taught to be responsible for the charity work in their community or in their country. So, Pastor, he said, I agree with you, but a lot of these churches do charity work without letting anyone know. So we can say they only remember the poor on Christmas and Easter because we don't know other stuff. Yeah, but what Christian churches do is their business, but Christians must do what Christ told them to do. Christians must be Christians, and this is part of being Christian. John Aliyu say, when are you coming to Nigeria? We need somebody like you. Yeah, you need to register for more information. If you want to receive more information about my visit to Nigeria, we are going to be doing newsletters that will be informing people on a regular basis. I don't know when I'm coming to Nigeria yet. I'll have to finish my battles here with the Ukraine government before I come. So that might be next year. I'm believing God for next year. So by the grace of God. And yeah, so you want to be more informed about that, go to my blog, SundayAdelajablog.com, and you register for the information for Nigeria. Akwasi Agieman is saying, Pastor, it is wrong for a man of God to own private jet. I would not be as categorical as that. I don't think there is any problem with private jets. Or just like say it's wrong for a Christian or a man of God to own a house or to own an iPad. Those are just tools. I see private jets as a tool that might be necessary for pastors who are big or who are extremely busy or who need to travel a lot. They might need it, but I just don't like the fact that someone will use the money of poor people to buy it. What I'm against is to use the tithe and offering of church to buy it, or to maintain it, or to be telling people in your church to be giving offering for private jets or things like that. I think pastors should use their own money, or they should get into business and use that money to buy and maintain their private jets. If it's for, somebody could say, what about if it's for the ministry? If it's for the ministry, that means you are using the money of the poor people that cannot afford, some of them cannot afford 3 square meals. Why don't we take care of the poor people first before we take care of jets? Shelley Bramble says, Hi, I love how you being honest. This is what ministers need to hear. Well, I hope somebody is hearing. I hope they will not get angry. Kate says, that is so true and very good. We need to look out for those in need. Shidi Obinelo said, God bless you, sir. We can't wait to have you in Africa. These teachings are going to cause revolution in African churches. This truth will set Africa free. I hope so. Adamu Bash says, many churches will be closed because the truth is here with us now. Oluwayomi Adedeji says, I will not be left behind in the transformation agenda of Nigeria, Pastor Sunday. I am 100% in support of your vision, okay? Robin Ford said, I love you. God bless you every day. Thank you. Wilson Daly says, what then, when we give to the church for charity? I don't understand that question. Mashu says, I believe we can individually touch lives through charity and thereby revealing the love of God to them. Yes. Shibozu says, you are a blessing. Keep sharing the truth. Thank you. Joseph says, God bless you for this. Okay, Joseph says, God bless you for these powerful discussions. But, it's one thing saying it and other thing doing it. We need more grace to push this agenda all through Africa, not only in Nigeria. You're right. But, I live in Ukraine and I'm renowned for doing what I say. So, by the grace of God, we will do what we are saying when we get to Nigeria. Just God has to get me there first. Wilson Daly says, man of God can have a private jet if that was an investment from his business. Yes, if that is from his business and from his investment, why not? Let him own 10 private jets if he wants. Oluwato Yin says, the revolution has started. Right on, sir. Justin says, I love you, sir. Continue. Well, I don't know. Yeah, that guy is right that said this is a big distraction, that I didn't talk about investment anymore. But we talk about investment. I think you got the message. So please be willing. I mean, go ahead and share this link if you don't mind. Let's go ahead and share the link. Please go ahead and share the link. It might be a blessing to somebody out there. And nice being with you today, but I think it was a mistake for me to have come out, especially in the evening. I will probably try the outside option in the morning. I think I will probably be doing it outside in the morning. But when it comes to evening, it's dark already now. And because I put on the light, I attracted more mosquitoes. So I'm suffering here. I have to end up this program and go back in. But it was nice being with you and fun. That was a message. That was a fun message today. A fun message. So see you tomorrow. God bless. Bye.